What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mass Bassin. Today I want to talk one thing and one thing only, and that's metal lips. Okay, let's talk metal lips. So, for you largemouth bass guys, guys who throw big swim baits, this is the saltwater version of a wake bait. Just like you would throw a wake bait at night for largemouth, this is that for stripers and bluefish if you are unlucky. First off, I want to show you guys just three different types of these. We got my 2.5 ounce, the smaller 1.5 ounce, and then my other favorite is this little blurple one that I forget where I got it. But my favorite is definitely going to be this 2.5 ounce wake bait. One thing you can do to your wake baits, depending on how you like, not wake bait, I'm not largemouth fishing, this is a metal lip. One thing you can do to these is you can tune your metal lips. As you can see, you got the metal lip, then you got this little eyelet here where you tie to or clip if you use a TA clip like me. So you can either tune this up or down to affect how deep it dives. I like them to dive just subsurface so that it's leaving a V-wake on a calm night. That's what I feel gets the bass going. That's my favorite way to do it. I feel like there's not much reason to throw one of these. If it's subsurface, you may as well throw something like a darter or minnow plug. So that's where I feel these shine, is, you know, just like a wake bait for bass. And trust me, if you've thrown a wake bait for bass at night, you know that these will work too. So let's talk where to throw these. Now, definitely there are different places or applications where this tiny one is used instead of this one. Actually, first, let's just talk this. This gets big bites, but it also gets small bites. Just know that it is very, very likely that a smaller fish will shake these hooks. Just, you know, you will lose smaller 25-inch fish. You will catch the bigger 30-plus on this. That's just something that I've found, and it's something that everyone should know. So, where to fish these? Boulder fields at night is a great place. I like fishing them on sandbars at night if it's really calm. I'll throw the smaller one. I love throwing the smaller one in the estuaries and in the rivers at night on a really calm night. I think that is just killer at night. If you can kind of get a small choke point on a river or an estuary where you can throw that smaller Danny plug, that is amazing. I've had some of my best fishing nights numbers-wise there. And I've caught bass up to 40 inches on that small Danny plug. So not to say that you cannot catch can't catch big fish on that plug. You definitely can. So this is my favorite in boulder fields. You know, big bass will come into boulder fields at night. And you don't want to get hung up on those boulder fields. So something like this, just slow cranking. Late at night, calm nights over boulder field. This will get those bass fired up. The rule of thumb normally when you're night fishing, especially with Danny plugs, is go as fast as your grandmother would go, then go half that speed. And that'll normally get these bass really fired up and give them time to look at this plug and see that V-wake on the surface. I have found better success, on more full moon, towards the full moon with these white Danny plugs. It's also definitely confidence. These come out of my bag much more on fuller moon, tides and fuller moon nights rather than new moon, which is not to say you can't catch them on a new moon, but I prefer, like most people, lighter colors as the moon is more full and darker as it's more of a new moon. So that's another thing. So boulder fields, I love to throw these, slow roll these, give it 15-30 minutes. Then my next thing, if I'm not getting the strikes, or if I'm getting some strikes but then I want to slow down a bit, is some sort of Sluggo or Hoagie soft plastic on a belly weighted hook in those boulder fields. It won't get hung up as much as, a darter or something like that, just because it's got that one hook. So that is another huge killer. Just make sure when you're fishing the boulder fields that you got your drag pretty tight. You can set that hook, but be ready to loosen up. If that fish is thrashing on the surface, he will throw this plug. So you really want to loosen up immediately if you feel that fish thrashing on the surface, or you see or hear that fish thrashing around. Just be careful, obviously. You know, boulder fields, you don't want to lose, not a cheap lure, $25. Don't want to lose that, you know, keep them out of the rocks. So that is where this excels. I guess this can also excel in earlier months when river herring is present and you're going for those holdovers on river herring. I love throwing a bigger profile for them, for those, you know, weed out those fish. I've caught a nice 40-inch fish on river herring, and that came on a Danny plug, or 38-inch fish, but same difference. That came on a Danny plug. This Danny plug matches river herring really well. So does bigger plugs like darters, maybe even a needlefish, a big, you know, 7-inch needlefish works really well. So that is another place where this really excels, is, you know, slow rolling this in estuaries or rivers early for big bass feeding on river herring. Now, if we switch over to the smaller Danny plug, this is another thing. This pretty much only comes out of my bag if I'm fishing estuaries or rivers. I have one spot that is a great choke point where you have a sandbar that you can wade out on, and then it drops off really, really fast from, like, you know, you're on that sandbar at low tide, it's 1 foot, half a foot, and then it drops really quick in like 2 steps to 6 feet. I love throwing this around that edge. You know, it's, again, not always going to catch the biggest fish. Bigger fish are definitely going to be on the rocks or, you know, out on those sandy beaches, but this is pretty fun, and I have gotten fish up to, you know, 35, 40 inches on a plug like this there. It's really fun, especially if you're alone, calm night, nothing's going on in that estuary, and then suddenly you hear that fish slap on this. Not very few, if nothing, beats that on this plug. Ugh. So those are my 2 favorite places to fish Danny plug. I will throw them on sandy beaches if it's calm. I prefer darter on sandy beaches, but again, anything rock and or choke points, estuaries, is just a great place to throw a Danny plug. They're a great plug. Again, if you fish largemouth, you know how good this is, so definitely give it a try. Take it out of your bag. Might not be your confidence bait, might already be your confidence bait. Either way, I hope this helped you guys a bit, and let me know what you guys want to see next. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.